Hello.
Hi.
It's Wednesday.
Welcome back. Here we are.
We're back. Feels like we just left.
Wait a minute. We did.
Phone rings every time.
You are not wrong.
All right. So, how's everybody doing on this gloomy Wednesday afternoon?
This is like the perfect day to be in your sewing room.
Totally is. Yes.
Absolutely the best
Hi.
kind of day to sew. So,
Yeah.
hi.
Everyone. So, I'm assuming we're getting hellos so people can hear us okay. I did.
Nobody's yelled at us
Nobody
yet,
said,
so.
There's no sound. Your mouth is moving, but there's nothing coming out of it. That never happens.
Never.
Oh. Busy day. I wish I wasn't working. I want to sew with you. Yeah, I'm so sad. So today we are going to talk about this really
fun thing.
project. This is snap bags. And they're not new to me because this pattern was, I wonder if it says, this is from 2008. So that's how many years ago I made my first
15.
one. So we have this little pattern here, and this is called Snap Happy. And this is a traditional sewing pattern using the same method that we're making these with. It's a really fun project that you put actually tape measure pieces in. So you do this in two parts, or you could do both in a slightly larger hoop because this is like a 5x7 design.
Yep.
And we put two
in an
8x12 hoop because Lisa and I are both trying to get ours done. So we did
these
one
bigger projects
already.
we can't both do. So
we're going to do a second set, which will give us both our A and our B pieces in order to complete this project.
So here is one hooping.
Look like much.
It doesn't look like much at the moment, but this is basically part A and part A, or part A and B for one of us, or one for each of us, however you want to look at it, because they are the same. You're going to rinse and repeat and do the same thing twice.
Yep.
So if you want to do them in one hooping and get it all done, again, this was in an 8x12 hoop, and we're going to do that again. And then you can do it that way, or if you don't have an 8x12, you can do it twice in a 5x7.
5x7s. Yep. If you have a smaller machine.
Or whatever else you do have.
Yes.
So
we have two. So we're going to be basically doing double of everything. And the first part of this project is going to be some placement lines. This is not a surprise if you've done any Kimberbell bag before. You know that oftentimes we do a little bit of a placement stitch. And that is what we're doing here. We're going to use this pretty green color for our quilting on our project. So that's what we started with. If you're prepping your fabrics, you're going to want to, we starched these ahead of time. And then I did a little bit of fusing on the top pieces. So there's a little, there's like a striped pink fabric. That is the piece that you're going to put a little bit of your fusible woven. So we have our easy tee on the top. That's the part that the tape measure is actually going to go into. So you're kind of reinforcing that a little bit. And then we have this really pretty green color teal that's going to be the base. And then we have like a peachy color that is going to be on the inside lining. Then we have some batting, and we have these little triangle pieces. This morning, I felt like the instructions were like super wordy and very complicated. I kind of feel like the same thing with these little triangle pieces. Essentially, you have a square. You're going to fold your square in half so that it is a rectangle. And then you're going to fold the two ends in so that you make a triangle. I think we're all smart enough to figure out that if you fold them in halfway, it will make the point. They have you measuring in like 1 1/4 inches and then making a little mark. That I literally just folded it in like an airplane and created the little prairie point pieces that we're going to use for the opening and closing part. So it doesn't have to be that confusing.
Mathematical?
No. And what Lisa is doing over here is she is trimming our first set. One of the last things that you stitch out is an actual cutting line that you trim on. And so that's what she was working on.
Almost there. So there's one. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so cute. There you go. There's one.
So I
There's
did
the little
leave that
peekaboo.
tape just so that it doesn't,
Get caught. Yeah.
yeah, I thought, well, we'll just make sure it stays
Yeah.
nice and
That's what
flat.
the
So I
front
left that
and the
down.
back is going to look like, kind of
So
like an
they're
identical
both going to
version.
look like that. And this will be where we're going to put in our tape measure.
Yep.
So what do you think?
So cute.
Is that trim?
I think it's fine. Does it bother you?
If I didn't know it was there, I don't know I'd know it was there. I'll
Yeah.
probably forget it's there shortly.
I think it's fine. We'll show you what we mean, but there's a spot where, like if she holds that up, you can see a little bit of the green sort of
Show
poking
through.
the little striped fabric. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah, so you could, when we get to that point, we'll tell you, you probably could trim the excess fabric off at this point if you really wanted to. But there you go. So we are actually on step number 3, which is the batting tack down. So I'm going to place the batting over top of
That lower section
the
there.
lower section here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stitch that down. It will surprise you, I'm sure, to know that we're not going to tape it, but you could tape it if you wanted to.
There's 2 pieces.
I didn't put that on very straight, but it won't matter.
No, it will not, because I'm going to trim off all the excess anyway. All right. I have 2 pieces. Are we pressing these over? And just says make 2, right?
Mm-hmm. No. No, they got it at the top.
Please pull right side down, open with the lining on the left. What's the seam?
All right.
Okay.
So we need to trim our batting.
I got it.
Yep.
I got it. I got it. I'm stuck with stuff.
I think that might have supposed to have been the place where I was going to place my batting. So I'm going to skip
let's
that.
do it. Do you want to, so it's got a double stitch though?
Sure.
Let's do it one more time. So there is a place, I did the same thing when I did the first time. Because we got the map, I was like, I know where to put that.
Exactly.
So there is a placement line. Sorry, I could have saved us that one and I missed it. But the difference is 1 time around versus 2 times around. So when you're trimming batting, of course, if you only have 1 time around, it's easy to snip those stitches. So the actual tack down stitch is nice to have there. And did you tell them what thread we had in?
I just said green. I
So-
did not tell the color number. It was a secret.
We have that nice tealy green in. It's kind of very sprucey. It is 4735. So exquisite. ES 4735.
Oh, and I'll scroll those color
And
numbers.
that is going to match the front really, really nice. So in the pictures, so it's got the quilting in here. I don't know if the lighting's not going to play nice now, right? So there is quilting in there, but it's not popping out.
No.
It's blending in versus they are suggesting a light pink, which would definitely be seen. So I kind of like that we see the print of the fabric versus seeing the quilting, even though it's quilted. But you can, of course, do whichever.
Hi,
So, hi, Sherry. And by the way, hi, Mom.
Hi, Lisa's mom.
So
Hi, Mom.
now I'm going to trim away the batting.
Yeah.
So we're going to trim away all that excess from all four sides. All right, I'm going to slide this out, get rid of some of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull, so we'll just do this way. Keep it flat.
Hi, Misty.
Okay, back to the machine. That was like the only trimming that we had to do, really.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there's already a line there, so you could skip this step if you were at home, probably. This is going to show us where to put our fabric, but there's already a stitch line there.
Oh. The hurrier we go.
I'm not really sure what just happened there. No idea. There's no thread in it anymore.
Mm-mm.
Okay, there's the pause button.
Must have been bobbin thread, huh?
Yeah, so hold that thought, guys. Let's see if we can figure out, probably need to restart just to make sure we're not
Yeah, we got a little bit of
a mess back there.
Yep.
You want to reboot the machine while
I
I'm
will.
taking a peek over here?
Okay. All right. Did you save it?
Save what?
The design?
Did you just turn it off?
Mm-hmm.
It'll come back in.
Just in case it doesn't go where we want it to be. We didn't
Nope.
save it together, did we? That's okay.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Not this one, I didn't.
Okay. Okay, let's rethread. All right.
Okay, to resume. And do we want to skip that? Or do we just want to jump in or just go back to where we were?
Let's see what happens if we start again.
All right. Make sure we're where we want to be. So far, so good. Right on top of that previous line, which is I think will be okay.
Yep.
That'll work. I was surprised this didn't have stuff on it.
Yep, no stuff.
And that one's like right there. He's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cover those up with our bigger background piece, and they will be tacked down. So this isn't hugely oversized. So I kind of balanced how much excess I had on each side, right and left, and then just make sure you're covered over that top. Let her go. As normal, I'm taping nothing.
It's a pretty quick sew, though.
It is. Did you get our tape pieces too? The measurement?
Oh, they're over here. I did not. We have Kimberbell tape over there.
I have Kimberbell tape.
Okay. I wasn't really sure what scissors we wanted to cut it with.
Ah.
There are 2 size options in the embroidery pattern. You have like a wallet size, which is this one, and then
A coin purse type size. As usual, we're doing the larger.
Yeah. I know they have you tape the ends of this a little bit and then trim, like round it off so that you don't have the pointy corners. So 6 inches is what we want it to be.
And now we quilt. This way?
Yeah. That just makes it a little easier to cut through.
Well, do we have so do you want me to cut it to 6 and then do that?
I would cut it to 6 and then put the second piece of tape on, yeah. Of the old, like, crafting stickers. Let me go grab some, yeah, those. Did it work?
Haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Measure twice, don't you know? Yep, it works. Yep, that one's 6. That one's 6.
Yep.
Remember when they released this and how Kim was playing with it? And she kept flipping it open and closed and open and closed. It was so cute.
Everything in my sewing room is packed up. So I have a cat in a hat one of like this that I made. That's super cute. And I really wanted to bring it, but it's packed up really good at the bottom of like a whole bunch of stuff.
So that first one I've got like a edge.
Okay.
Just heads up. Yeah, I'm perfecting my technique here.
I mean, I didn't even make it all the way around on this one, so I get it.
Okay. Wow, I can't cut very straight, or they can't. One or the other. I'm not sure which. But we'll be rounding, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
we're
matter.
rounding. It won't matter.
Somebody can't cut straight. I'm not sure who.
Just wait till you see how well we round our corners, right?
Right? So this isn't like a... Oh, that's really funny. They want you to... We were supposed to round them first and then cover them with tape.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna round, and then if we need to cover again, we will.
It's going to be a lot easier to put a tape on it now.
I thought so too.
Animated. Perfect.
Do we need more tape than that?
I think so. Is your edge rough? I mean, when I do this at home, my edges aren't rough after that.
Okay, that one kind of sucks. This is harder than it sounds. Very awkward.
It won't matter when it's in your bag. That I can promise.
You want to cut, or you
You
happy with my messy
with
stuff?
Your messy
Okay.
corners.
Okay.
I'm all good with it. I think your scissors probably aren't helping.
No, they're not super great.
All right, we have
the quilting
is
portion
done.
is done. So at this point, I changed to the pink thread.
Okay,
Because
the
you
light
want,
pink?
yes, that's,
Okay.
yep. So the reason mostly was because we moved, ow. Okay, so they're sharp, FYI. Just so you know.
You guys,
I got bit. Woo! Okay. So this next section, we're going to be placing the little pink guys. If we stayed with the same thread, we wouldn't be able to tell this stitch from the previous stitch.
Right.
And we need to know right where to place them. So it's going to give us a stitch line. And that's what we're doing. So there you go.
Okay. And am I
So now we're going to just
line on the
line
line?
that up.
Okay.
Right at that line. And we're going to put actually 3 pieces of tape. We're going to put one on each point and one on the fold in the center. So do you want me to do this over here?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll give you some tape. How's that?
Sounds-
I'll be the tape girl.
Okay. It's not what I would have said, but okay.
I got your 4 littles.
4 littles. All right. So we are going to line these edges up, and it literally should be the same size as your piece. You're going to take and get each point down, and then you're going to take a larger piece.
Is that long enough?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then it's going to cover up that fold in the center. So two smalls on each tip. no, one small on each tip, which equals 2. And then a longer one right down that middle. I'm a little bit low. There we go. And that's going to keep your foot from getting caught in any of those spots. And we are going to go back to the machine and tack that down. So I left in the light pink for the rest of the stitch out on the first ones. So if you want to hit the number.
I'm like, what are you pointing at? The machine is fine.
Yep, sure is.
I'm like, I'm not going forward in the design. What is she trying to tell me?
And hopefully if you put that right up to the line, it should catch it, but not by leaps and bounds, just enough to grab hold of it. And in our case, we're going to do that again. If you're doing 2 in 1 hoop, so are you. Which I got to say, if you have an 8x12 hoop, this is definitely the way to do it because you are literally doing the same thing twice. All right, that looks beautiful. So we now need to remove that tape. And there is no placement line for this next step. You're going to use the lines that are already in the stitch out. So I'm going to come back over here.
This is where I came in.
This is where you came in. So I am first going to remove the tape from the front because we don't want any tape in this seam.
Which means we are almost done.
So we're going to rip and remove the tape. And it will tear right at the stitch line. So for these ones on the ends, I'm tearing out and then pulling back towards the middle. And then I just tore the center one, and then the bottom one I just slid down just to make sure it stayed nice and flat, didn't get bent up or accidentally sewn into a seam. It didn't tell me to do that anywhere. I was just being safe. All right, and then I'm going to do that again down here. And I am holding my fingernail like right at the seam there just to help it start tear so that it's not putting any undue stress on the seam. But it's just a little bit of a safety precaution. All right, once we have that, all right, we're going to flip to the back and we are going to use, I'm just going to turn this so you guys can see a little bit better. There's a lot of lines back here. We are looking for, here's your batting line, the one right above that. All right, so this line right here is the one that we're looking for. So that's the guy, the tack down of your background piece. That's the one we're looking for. All right, so we're going to take our stripe pink pieces. And again, I'm on the back of the hoop and I am going to align that right on that line. Balance out your excess fabric. Make sure you've got fabric on either side of your stitch out. And then because it is the back of the hoop, we have to tape. They show you in the instructions to also tape the center. I did not do that. I just taped the sides the first time. I didn't have an issue. It's up to you whether you'd like to do that or not. So a piece here is an optional tape. Whatever you do, make sure you get both corners here so that you don't get any pull up. So on all 4 corners here, you need to make sure that those are covered so that nothing's going to get caught. Okay, and then we're going to do that again on our bottom one. And I am taping outside the stitch line if possible, because then you don't have to worry about ripping the tape off. It's just outside that seam. So there we go. I've got both of those taped to the back. So I'm now going to turn to the front and I am going to tape the other 2 to that same line, which is going to be the one that we basically lined up our pink to. So this one here. This is where we were talking about this color showing through this stitch line. So here is kind of where we're at here. Okay, so this fabric is right here on that piece. So if that would bother you, you could trim that out now if you felt the need to do so. It doesn't show you to do that in the instructions. We didn't. I don't think it's bad enough to worry about personally. But again, if you would like to, you could remove that fabric at this point. It's now or never.
That's true.
Pretty much. So we're again going to balance your excess on either side. Because I have multiples in the hoop, I'm not going to just hold it, and I do want to make sure it's staying right on that line. So rather than hope, because I can't see what's going on back there, I am going to tape those so that they stay where they're supposed to be. And we're going to then take that back to the machine. And it's going to tack that down. And there we go. Get rid of all that tape off my hand. Feel like I want to be like, boom, boom, boom. All right. So now we need to flip both the front and the back of the hoop up. I'm going to start with the back. I'm going to be very gentle. If you have a wool hoop mat, this would be a perfect time to use that. I don't have one over here, so I'm just going to be real careful. And I'm going to flip this up and give that a little finger press and tape that into position. And repeat that on the other side. And making sure that this is nice and smooth in the center, I'm also going to tape that center up so that I don't get a big pucker on the back, so that that stays where it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to do that again down here. Do I even want to know?
She didn't hear the P in pucker.
No puckers. Smooth that out. And then make sure that those are nice and tight on the sides and tape them into place. And then we're going to do the same thing on the front. Now on the front, we also have the ability to do a little press. You could press on the back if you had a hoop mat inside of here. We did, like I said, didn't have that. So for me to press down with my stabilizer loose like that, I would be adding some gap into that. And I don't want to misalign anything. That would be bad, right? So I'm just going to fold that up, and I'm going to now take and press that. So I get a nice crisp fold on the front, and then tape that into position. Even with that press, I'm still going to tape down the center top. That's the front of my bag. I need it to look pretty, right?
Yes.
And Sarah's, so especially when you're sewing for someone else, you got to do you got to make it look good. All right, so we're gonna fold that up We're going to press. Okay. And make sure your sides stay nice and flat. And then back to the hoop to tack both the front and back of the hoop in place. So here we go, stitch. Almost there.
We are. Okay, then we're going to place the lining fabric right over top, covering everything. And it's going to tack that down. And the last thing that it's going to stitch is the actual trim line. So it's going to do kind of like a basting stitch all the way around the outside. Okay. So that completes the embroidery part of the design. So now you just have to cut out on these lines. So it's on you there, Miss Lisa.
Hey now, too much pressure. All right. We have side A's or whatever you want to call them ready.
There you go.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so as she was saying, that last basting stitch is your trim line. It's very important that you cut on that basting stitch and do not cut this line there. That is the tack down for that lining. So we want to make sure we are not cutting that.
Okay, Tucker,
Yeah.
is there a J foot and an ankle anywhere over there? This has got a low shank adapter to it.
Interesting. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's the
Ooh,
sellers.
sorry, I mean to zap you.
You didn't zap me.
Good.
You zapped yourself.
All right. Hi, Miss Joan. All right, you came just in time for us to start wrapping up the bag. So Lisa is trimming on the lines.
Separate the two now.
We see you causing trouble over there, Jean. We can see you causing trouble over there.
There's. Yeah.
Causing any trouble. I'm making stuff.
All right. So here we have parts B for both of us, and we need to separate the lining up and over. Okay. So if you were trimming right on that line, you might have little bits somewhere, but for the most part, that should come right up. And then we are going to turn that pretty side down, and we are going to press this towards the bulk. So we want that basically to be this way here. So just kind of work your way a little bit at a time. I'm kind of tugging a little bit so that I get a nice tight press in there. That is the direction that we need that to go.
Sometimes if you press this seam open, it works a little bit better because the top piece, and they will fold over. So if you're struggling because it's small, you can try to press the seam open, which will help fold the bottom one down, and then the top one will kind of come all the way over. It's not too bad though.
No, this is going pretty easily, actually. I am pretty pleased with that, actually. So there is one more. So now we have 3. There's 3. Get there. And one more. So I'm sorry, you want me to go that way?
No, I just
Open.
Yeah, sometimes when you're trying to get the other thing over, I just meant sometimes that it doesn't want, this piece doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
If you press the seam open, then when you go to flip over, it will
It's
work
already
as
halfway
well.
there.
It's halfway there, yeah. I don't know why
Gotcha.
it sometimes works, but if you're not having any issues.
No, I'm not, but I see what you're saying. If you do this.
Yeah, sometimes it helps.
Sometimes if you're struggling.
Yes.
So that's an option. If you are having a hard time, you can press that open first and then move that over afterwards. So step 1, then move over step 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes when you've got the bulk there,
It just
wants to
doesn't
make like
wanna
a
play
weird,
nice.
it makes a crease instead of an actual
Yep.
press, and stitching and pressing it open sometimes helps the start.
So this is our last Bella Box project.
I know. What are we going to do?
The other ones, ones we only got one side or one of ours done. No. You're going to go on vacation here really soon.
I know, one more week. Not that I'm counting.
No, why would you do that?
No, I'm ready to hang out with Mickey for a little while. Not that I don't love you.
In a little bit warmer weather?
It'll be a little nicer.
Little bit?
Yeah.
All right, so we now have 4. So again, 2 for me, 2 for her. And we are going to move on with the
sewing part,
sewing
right?
portion. So they are all the same, doesn't really matter which ones go with which ones. So the next thing that we need to do is add in these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never finished that.
I'm sorry. You got 2 that are finished. You can start with those. I can work on that.
I think it's just this one. Okay, so we're going to slide that in. Which direction?
The concave side of the tape measure should face the wrong side of the pouch. So the rounded part should go up. If you've got the
Yep.
to the top of the casing, I guess. Yep. And it says, there's a little tip in here that says, be sure the tape measure is between the top casing with the stabilizer and the bottom casing. The concave side of the tape measure should face the wrong side of the pouch, and the rounded curve should face the right side of the pouch.
All right, what about the stabilizer?
So the tape measure is between the top casing with the stabilizer and the bottom casing.
I don't think I got the stabilizer in there. I have fusible.
Okay.
There's
Maybe
the
that's what they
stabilizer.
mean by stable. Oh, there you go. Found it.
There's the stabilizer, and they want that on the top?
They want that. They want that between it. Yes.
So over the top.
Yes.
Yeah, on the top of it. Okay. Got it. All right. And then you're to center that in there so that you have room on each end.
Yep, you should have at least 1/4 of an inch on either end.
Oh, yes.
Tight fit, huh?
Well, I now have nothing to hold on to. So I'm not centered. Hang on. All right. Now we're pretty centered.
Yeah. So Cindy is asking, are you doing December demo on YouTube? We will. We'll probably send out some information about that early next week. But we will be doing demo December probably on Saturday.
Saturday, and then the following
and
Saturday
then the
is our
following
thoughts.
Saturday. Yep, so not this Saturday, but the following 2 Saturdays.
That one moved a little easier than the last one. Okay. 2. Slacker. Dang stabilizer. There it is. All right, here we go. So I think how much tape is on the tape measure is dependent upon the ease of the sliding. Some of them had more than others. And I think that's the...
Less is more, or more is...
well,
less?
I mean, it's not that none of it's hard, but I
Right.
think that's what I'm feeling. The resistance is when there's more tape.
Tape.
It's like, oh, it's not moving quite as easily as less tape, but it doesn't hurt your finger as much when there's a little more tape on there. All right, last one. Here we go.
They can't see you right now.
I can't see if I'm not out
I
there.
know.
All right.
There you go.
There we have that final one sliding right in there. And then I'm just kind of bending to make sure I'm centered on each one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have 4 sleeves now that have
Tape measure.
in there. Okay,
Now you're gonna place the pieces basically pretty side to pretty side with the lining out. Yep, just like that. And then we are going to use a sewing machine and we are going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the 2 sides and the top. Yes, they're on the end.
I can do that.
Can you see them?
Uh-huh.
Find them? Okay, I'll hold the camera.
Not burn myself on the iron. Good. I'm in.
All right.
I'm back. We're good. 3rd time would be the charm, right? To knock the whole thing over.
Totally.
So we're lining up these guys here.
They can't see you. There you go.
You can add more if you want. I'm just giving a rough.
Okay.
And you're going to leave the bottom open? Is that, where does it say?
Yes, you're going to leave the
Lining open.
the lining bottom piece open. You do stitch that with like a 1/2 inch seam allowance and leave like a big opening in the middle.
Look at that. The pieces all line up and everything. It's craziness. All right. How much more do you want?
I think that's good.
Did you get a foot pedal?
I did not.
Do you want one?
Sure.
See if I can find you one. Not there. There. Well, it's not a great one, but is that better than nothing? If it's not the good one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Wonder what happened to the good one.
It's probably in a drawer somewhere.
I was just gonna say it's probably right next to you, right?
Probably. Would have been funny if it had been the top drawer. It was not. All right, so they recommend that you sew down the 2 side pieces first. So 1/4 inch away, and you do want to be careful that you don't sew through your tape measure casing. So we are going to be mindful of that. I'm going to sew with the thick part first and then sew down because I like to do that.
Start hard, get easier.
Yes. So this is a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm writing the edge of my fabric on the edge. This is my J foot, and I am on stitch number Q02 if anybody is wondering. And we're just going to take it slow. You could go a little faster if I move the speed up.
We didn't have a foot pedal last time, so we were
Right.
creeping along because we had
Okay.
nothing to.
So I'm just holding this down and we're going to go real slow. Okay, I am going to back stitch a little bit because there's going to be a little bit of hug on that seam. And then we're going to come down.
They do.
Okay. Then I'm going to flip this over so I can do the same thing with this side because I want to start with my bulky side first.
Sorry.
For what?
Your clips are upside down.
No, it doesn't matter to me. I'm
Your ambidextrous clips?
yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to that when I clip mine in, so it's all good. Okay, we got a lot of bulk here again. Go super slow when you get here. Just make sure that tape measure isn't in your seam.
Yeah, your needle will not like that, so don't do that.
No, it would not like that at all. Okay.
Very nice comment.
Aw.
Thank you,
Thank
Rebecca.
you, Rebecca. All right, so I did my two sides and I think the top now, right? The two sides.
And then it does say 1/4 inch for.
Oh, this is weird. It's not, instead of going down, now it's going left and right. So, all right, now, yes,
So
into the short edge. Do not sew the lining in this step. Okay.
So now just across the bottom, still at 1/4 inch.
Right. So I'm going to do this edge now. I'm reading down and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But okay. All right, and now I think the final step is to sew a 1/2 inch at the
A
bottom.
1/2 inch with a pretty good size opening because it's gonna be hard with that.
All right, so 1/2 inch seams are hard for me because it seems gargantuan. So there's my 5/8, so right below that. All right, so I'm like, I'm not in the needle, the center needle
you're not,
position,
but
so
it's
it's close enough. Okay, as long as I'm consistent, right?
You don't want to go too far. The idea, of course, is that your lining is slightly shorter than the other one.
Yep.
You need the poof.
The poof. Okay.
Now, am I going to fight with that while you do this?
Yes.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So overjoyed.
All right. So I'm going to just do this, the same thing with the other one, but we're going to pop over to the other camera so that you can see what Miss Lisa is doing. A little bit of trimming, right? And then
I'm just making sure I'm
a turn.
seeing there's a lot of stitch lines here. All right, so now I'm going to attempt to get those pieces through here. I'm going to make this a little wider because scooched back a little bit to give her room and Yep, that's the ticket. Snap them open
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't moving before at all. There we go. All right, so we're gonna get that through there. And of course, let's make sure that those corners are turned out. So there's the bag. Here is the lining still up here. So it's got this really weird thing about a needle and thread in here. Do you understand what that means?
No, it's
No.
a 4-letter word that is not in my vocabulary.
I'm trying to learn it, but I don't wanna.
Hand sewing.
Hand sewing.
Hand sewing.
No,
In
no,
case you're wondering,
no, no, no.
we could definitely sew that on the machine though.
So, basically, you're going to turn in that opening so that you have your seam allowance and press that in so it kind of stays where you want it to go. You can fussy it as much as you want to fussy it. And then I know I would, I'm guessing Sarah would, just throw that on the machine and just right across there. Is that what you'd do?
Yep.
Yep. As if my machine can't do it, it's not happening.
Here you go. And if you want, once you press that, I can whip that up real quick.
Trade.
Trade. Yep. So I'm going to just sew up this little guy here. And I'm just going to move my needle position all the way to the right. And then I'm going to just stitch along the edge of the foot. So, yep, just a little bit of stitching there. And you can pop that open. So cute. So, so cute. Look at that. Wow. Fun.
This was not hard at all.
No, and really, this sewing version is really almost as easy. So if you
Just
don't
the
have an
quilting,
embroidery,
probably that's the only real huge benefit is getting the
and you,
quilting all done.
yep, and you could quilt it in your embroidery machine first,
Have a bunch of quilted fabric and then make bags out
and
of
then
it.
just make bags out of it. Yeah, it's
Cut it
actually
to the size that you need, and then.
pretty simple. Yeah.
But no, this is great. These are adorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you could mix and match. You could make. You were saying you have a Cat in the Hat one.
Yep.
You could make, seasonal ones. You could do themed ones for somebody's favorite character. You could get character fabrics. You could do, I mean, all kinds of things. How fun.
So fun.
No wonder
So
Kim
cute.
was playing with that.
Right. You can't stop. Cookie
Mur, mur,
Monster.
mur. Mur, 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 she says. She says mur, mur.
I don't get out enough.
Okay.
I'm only here.
Well, me too.
All right. You can play with that on that, and I'll stitch this real
So
quick.
ready?
Yep.
See, I got better sound effects.
You
than
do.
Murmur. Sorry. That is just stinking adorable. I have to say, it's better without pink down here.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And this is the bigger one.
Yep. There's a slightly smaller
It's hungry.
version.
Bonk,
Yeah.
bonk, bonk, bonk,
It's like
bonk,
Cookie
bonk,
Monster,
bonk,
right?
bonk, bonk,
I want
bonk.
cookies.
These are adorable. I want to make a bunch. So Jeff will definitely be getting a bunch of new tape measures for Christmas because I'm going to go steal all of the ones that he has. So I have tape.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun.
Yep. Done.
And two. Ow.
Ooh, you poke yourself?
I did.
Sorry. All right.
Poker, poker, poker.
Look at that. 1 hour and 7 minutes, and we made a complete version. We kind of made two, but you could make one in an hour.
You could make
That's
one in
not
an
too
hour. No, absolutely. I'm super excited. I'm
Yes.
definitely going to be making more of those for sure.
Yeah, so cute.
And you know, you could change up the quilting super easy. It's just a matter of swapping.
And if you need a sewing pattern, there's a sewing pattern that comes in a couple different sizes as well. Like I said, it's super duper cute if you want to stitch one up. And
The link for that was in our email.
Yes.
So you can find those, but basically the same.
Yep, has 3 sizes, so one slightly bigger and then basically the same.
Very, very fun. So that concludes the Bella Box stitch outs for us.
It does.
So yay.
Yay!
And that also is our Stitching with SNL Wednesday.
Yes.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Have we tried the smaller one? Not this particular one, but you've made many of different sizes of other ones.
Yeah.
So same things, just smaller scale.
Yeah, I would say if you're doing the smaller one, I would probably cut my tape measure just a little bit narrower than what the original pattern says for. There's a lot of bulk in the corners, and having that be just a tad bit smaller makes it so that they don't want to poke out the sides eventually. So that's the only thing that I would do differently is maybe instead of cutting those at 6, I might cut them like at 5.5.
Yeah, because you can feel
the edges.
the edges here.
Yep.
That's definitely an edge there.
Yeah, because we have so much bulk there.
Yep. So I can see where that would be make it just a little bit.
Just a tad bit narrower.
Yep. Yeah, but no, this was definitely a fun, very quick, easy project.
Yes.
And with the larger hoops, you could do, multiples at the same time. So,
Yes.
And the sewing, I mean, especially when you got somebody doing the sewing for you. It's cake. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yes.
You can look for emails for different things that we might have going on this weekend. We are open Friday and Saturday, but we certainly understand that you might not want to be out in chaos. So there will be some things available on the website as well. So please shop with us online if you are shopping this weekend. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And what's the other one?
Share.
Share. I always forget that one. I can't remember that one.
Share.
So
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Bye.